Good evening. It's Thursday night, and we are back for the fourth round out of six for the virtual Road to Formula Karting Trophy. Brought to you in association with Kart Sim Limited, IMB Racewear, and the GPVWC. Alex Goldschmidt back once again as we are at a track that I know very, very well indeed, and which recently hosted in the last week of October the final round of the Rotax Max Euro Trophy. We are at Adria Karting Raceway, based in the Veneto region in northern Italy. So the format again will be exactly the same as what we have had over the past 3 weeks so far, where we ended up at Le Mans International last week. And coming into this evening's event, Kai Rielets in the number one has a lead of just 6 points ahead of the number three of Rafael Renhofer. It's been a really good comeback from the Netherlands' Jaden Thien, who rounds out the top three in the number eight. He's currently the driver that's got the most wins so far. 3 on the bounce, 1 at our second round, which was Zuera, and then both rounds at Le Mans last week. We've also got Frederik van Overloop and Ed Boutron. Van Overloop is fourth in the standings on 55 points, and then Boutron on 35. No Christian decline yet again. One bit of big information we need to tell you. Obviously, due to commitments for not just Kai Rielets, but also for myself, we will actually be heading to the International Trophy for Rotax this coming weekend at Portimao. So next week's broadcast will not be taking place as planned. So there will be a little bit of a break before we come back on our final race of the season, which will be hosted at the virtual recreation of Karting Genk, the home of champions. So the 17th of December will be our sixth and final round. We've got a few of the drivers out on practice at the moment. Again, a quick reminder about the prizes. The overall champion gets the opportunity to have 1 month of free guidance, courtesy of Road to Formula, worth to the tune of around €650, which is about just under £600 in English money. The vice champion gets a custom-made pair of sim or karting racing gloves from our good partners at IMB Racewear. And then also third place for the third driver in the standings will get a Road to Formula 1 data acquisition session on a track of their choice. Track temperature and air temperature here at Adria at the virtual recreation is around 25 degrees Celsius. And at the moment, Jaden Thien has really been coming good. He's actually the fastest out of everybody at the moment, and Thien currently running on a 49.968. And hopefully at some point very shortly we'll be able to go on board with Jaden for qualifying and give you an idea of just how taxing this circuit is. It's very fast, it's very flowing, it's very technical at the latter point of it all. And looks like I think we are just about to get underway in just over 15 seconds time with our 5-minute qualification session. Now, with the laps that they're pushing in, they probably could push the envelope here, maybe 5 to 6 laps at the very most in terms of qualifying. So now we find out who is going to be the speed merchant around the 1.3 kilometer circuit. It's just over 0.8 miles here in Adria, as we see Van Overloop making his way down this very unusual pit lane, weaving from left to right, getting some heat into those tyres and brakes, and he's the first one to come out of the pits, followed by Rafael Renhofer in the number 3 kart. So Frederik will be in the yellow kart. Kai Rielets will be in the red kart. There's Jaden Thien in the cyan kart, or turquoise, whichever you want to call it. It's a very light blue. And then Rafael Renhofer will be in the dark blue in the number 3. So when we see very shortly, we'll go on board with Jaden Thien for a hot lap here at Adria. He's now making his way. That's having come through turn 4 into 5. And this is where it gets really tight. A hairpin. It's 6. Excuse me. And then into the left at 7. There's a couple more corners to go. So it's the 90 left. 8 into the right-hand hairpin at turn 9. There's a little bit of a kink here before he comes around the 10th and final turn. So let's just see. Okay, let's go on a hot lap with Jaden Thien across the start-finish line, heading into the turn 1 right-hand sweeper, fully full throttle through that. Then into the turn 2 right-hander, which sweeps back onto itself. And then you go into the left at 3. You're actually going to have to put on the anchors. Turn in, a little bit of a kink there. Make sure not to wallop the curbs on the left-hand side. Into the turn 4 left-hand hairpin before the 90 right at 5. And there can be some audacious moves done at turns 4 and 5. I've seen them firsthand and in real life. Into 6. And he'll then switch back to the left, and he's already getting rather quick in the first couple of sectors, but it looks like Felix has gone fastest in sector 1. Renhoffers has crossed the line and put in a 50.470. Frederick van Overloop just about 5.5 tenths of a second adrift. Steen will now cross the line. Let's just see what his lap time is. He goes second. Well, make that third because Kai Rielitz has just put the cat amongst the proverbial karting pigeons. Here in Adria, he's just put in a 50.357, but Jaden Thien was running in the high 49.9s during the free practice session. Looks like a couple of personal bests there from Renhofer. So he's up on his best times so far in this session. Into the left-hand kink before going around the right-hander. Onto the start-finish straight comes Renhofer. Let's see if he does improve. He goes... Literally, that is 54 thousandths quicker than Kai Rielitz, who again has gone purple in sector 1. Not his greatest second sector, I must admit. That's nearly a tenth and a half down, but he's going to come across the line. 50.657 from Kai Rielitz. Jaden Thien running in the 50.4s at the moment, so he's got exactly he's got to find 0.101 seconds. It's exactly a tenth between him and Renhofer at the moment, as Renhofer goes purple in sector 2. Jaden Thien has actually put in the fastest sector 1 of anybody by about 65 thousandths of a second as we go with him now. Over a tenth up in sector 2. That's a 13.1 in sector 1, 13.1 in sector 2. He's now getting towards the end of the circuit into the right-hand hairpin off of turn 9. And now through into the left-hand kink, taking some curb. Into the right-hander. This looks to be a quick lap from Jaden Thien. Will he get close to the 50-second barrier? He does, and he goes in with a 49.980, a 23.681 on the third and final sector. Great job there by Jaden Thien. So Kai Rielitz just trundling around the circuit a little bit here. Obviously, he's now really got to get a move on and get across the start-finish line, because he'll have an opportunity at a flying lap, because in karting, if you cross the line with the few seconds to spare, you still are on a flying lap. So this is where Rielitz is now coming into... Well, he's decided to shortcut the track. He was doing that a bit earlier on in the practice session before we went out on air. He was trying to do like his countryman Corby Powles, who's just entered Rallycross. And I think that is Kai Rielitz done and dusted for the session. So 8 seconds on the clock still to go as Rielitz decides to go into the part for May. That's it for the session. So the grid will be Jaden Thien, followed by Rafael Renhofer, Kai Rielitz, and Frederick van Overloop. Obviously, Ed Boutron, our friend over in Mexico. Hopefully we'll have him join us, if it's not on the first heat, hopefully a little bit later on this evening. And this is where things are going to get really interesting. It's going to be 10 laps again for all 5 races. We've got 3 qualifying heats and 2 finals. And the 2 finals is where things are most important. Now, will anyone be able to break the winning streak of Jaden Thien this evening? Well, we've got time to find out, and we have got time on our side. So very shortly, looks like we might be getting things underway for this evening's racing. Looks like there's a little bit of a warm-up, so we'll be back in just a couple of moments' time to get the first of 3 qualifying heats underway here in Adria for the virtual Road to Formula Karting Trophy. Right, time to go racing this evening. 3 10-lap races to decide our grids for the finals this evening for the virtual Road to Formula Karting Trophy, brought to you in association with Kart Sim Limited, IMB Racewear, and the Grand Prix World Challenge Series. So let's have a look at the grid for what will be a fantastic race. 1 out of 3. So Jaden Thien taking pole position. He was 31 thousandths off of his best time in practice. He has Rafael Renhofer alongside. Then it is Kai Gielets and Frederik van Overloop. So it will be 4 drivers on this grid. And as you can see, pole position is actually on the left-hand side of the track, which means we are going to be on the chase cam for Kai Gielets as we now bide our time. 10 laps of racing around the 1.3 kilometre circuit here at Adria Karting Raceway. So the 4 lights start to ignite on the gantry. Wait for it. Hold on to your hats. The lights go out, and it's a bit of a slow start from Kai Gielets, but a good start. And there's already a penalty for Jaden Thien, possibly for a jump start there, as Kai Gielets gets away very, very slowly. So Renhofer closing on Van Overloop. It looks like Jaden Thien has got a penalty from race. Okay. Okay, looks like there was an issue with the starting light, so we are going to have a full restart from the very beginning. And I'm wondering if the other drivers know. Well, Kai Gielets just banzaied his way up the inside of Renhofer there, but we will have a full restart. It looks that at the moment. Okay, looks like we are going to switch to rolling starts because of the lights being a little bit of an issue, as Jaden Thien is absolutely, well, he's just had a lag spike or he's just disappeared off the track. So looks like we're going to restart the race, which is being done now as we speak. So we will have a rolling start as opposed to a standing start. And a fantastic track in its own right. It's definitely a driver's track, and whenever drivers go around it, they definitely get a thrill of adrenaline. So yeah, we will be. I think they're just trying to get everything all sorted out and arranged to get things going. So please bear with us. Right, we're about to get things well and truly underway. Looks like we're going to switch to rolling starts. So the lights are showing up on the gantry. So we're just waiting to get things going here. 10 laps, so that'll be approximately 13 kilometers of racing, so 36 kilometers in the qualifying heats, and then also I'm just wondering what's going on here. It looks like they're going to start going on the formation lap. So it is Jaden Thien from Rafael Renhofer, Kai Rielets and Frederik van Overloop. That is your 4-strong grid this evening. So it will be a total, so we'll have 36 kilometers of racing in the qualifying heats, 24 kilometers for both finals. This is where it's going to get rather interesting. Who is going to time the rolling start? And who is going to make a bit of a hash of it, as there's a little bit of touching there between Rielets and Van Overloop. So these drivers really have to have their A game. And we'll wait and see what happens. So, looks like Jaden Thien weaving from side to side, just getting some extra little bit of temperature in those tyres as they now come round the 10th and final corner. It is Thien and Renhofer on the front row. They split, go into the tram lines, hit the accelerators hard to the floor. It is a clean start. We're off and away in racing. Great start by Jaden Thien. Now we've got Renhofer on the outside of Rielets. Van Overloop makes it 3 wide going into turn 2. And Renhofer spat out the other side of the corner. And there's a bit more wheel banging between Rielets and Van Overloop as Jaden Thien starting to scarper away early into the distance as now they get into the turn 4 hairpin. Van Overloop drifts wide, cuts across the front of Renhofer. Renhofer banzais up the inside. The pair exchange a little bit of rubbing of sidewall tyres onto the side pods. So Van Overloop drops down into P4 behind Rafael Renhofer at this particular moment in time. So Jaden Thien looks to start to make an early getaway as he's got about a 0.6 of a second advantage ahead of Kai Rielets, who comes out of the final corner. Now we complete the first of 10 laps. 0.75 is the gap between Thien and Rielets. And Thien has just put in a 51.7. Rielets a 52.2. Renhofer a 53.4. And a 53.9 for Frederik van Overloop. But it's a lot closer this time around, about 2.7 seconds between Jaden Thien and Frederik van Overloop, as there's Renhofer trying to close on Rielets for second position. And Jaden Thien, in the meantime, has gone purple in sectors 1 and 2. A 15.263 in sector 1, a 13.247 in sector 2. So he's looking to get into as close to the 49, high 49s as he can as Thien comes around the final corner, hits the accelerator to the floor across the line. And that is a 50.378 as Renhofer goes fastest in sector number 3 and puts in a 50.417, just under a tenth slower than Kai Rielets, but there's about a second between the pair at the moment. So lap number 3 out of 10. And Renhofer has gone fastest in sector number 1 on this particular occasion, 13.220, 3 1,000ths quicker than the leader, Jaden Thien. So it looks like there was a bit of a momentum loss there for Kai Rielets because he's dropped to just over 1 second at one point. But depending on where you come through in the circuit, as Renhofer's absolutely setting the timesheets alight. He's gone faster than anybody in the first and second sectors. So a 13.220 in sector number 1 and 13.206 in sector 2. Jaden Thien goes quicker than anybody, but then I'm waiting for Renhofer's time. 50.284. So Renhofer goes nearly half a tenth quicker than Jaden Thien. And in the meantime, what he's been doing at the moment is he's got that gap between himself and Kai Rielets down to just under 7.5 of a second. Now, we know what happens when normally Rielets and Renhofer get into each other's sort of like their space. Let's just say that the intensity goes from 10 to the volume 11, in the words of Spinal Tap. So we know that explosions and fireworks are definitely part and parcel of these two driving with each other at the moment, as Jaden Thien is about to put us onto the 5th lap out of 10 here at Advia, and he's leading by 1.2 seconds. And he's just put in the fastest lap of 50.194. But then Renhofer's gone 44 thousandths quicker, exactly 50.150 from the number 3. Frederik van Overloop is out of contention of the top three at the moment, despite having made good his intentions in the first few throws of this race. Gave Renhofer and Rielitz a few things to think about, but he's still circulating on the track, which is good to see. For Jaden Thien, very much the case that this young man, I think he's 12 now, or 11 or 12, but he's still very, very competitive, and you can see how easily the Kart Sim Limited program via rFactor 2 really does help to give you that full immersive experience. 5 laps to go. So we're on to lap number 6, and Jaden Thien has put in a 50.194 is his best lap. He's over 1.4 seconds quicker than Rielitz. Renhofer still in third, trying to chase the Belgian down. And the gap between them was around about half a second. And Renhofer last time around was slightly slower by about 45 thousandths, as there is Kai Rielitz trying to close on Jaden Thien. Gap still is about 1.4, 1.3 seconds. It keeps on fluctuating depending on where you are on the circuit. So it gives you a real sort of indication as... Oh! Now, Rielitz has had a penalty. I would imagine that is for track limits. So that now means that Renhofer is run on his back bumper. Too many track cuts, and the software already automatically picks things up. So Rielitz is now going to come under fire. Oh, a little bit of a touch, and he goes into the barriers courtesy of Renhofer on the approach into turn 1, but he still keeps going. Oh, I did say about those fireworks. Alex Goldschmidt, commentator's curse once again. But at least in this respect, it's the virtual world, not the real world. It would be a completely different matter altogether if that was an incident on a track, real life, so to speak. So Renhofer now has a bit of clean air between himself and Jaden Thien, as now that's about 2.1 seconds between the pair as we're about to complete lap number 7 out of 10 in this race. And there is Jaden Thien, a bit too much curb there, getting a bit greedy going into the right-hander at turn 10, but across the line goes Jaden Thien. And he's led from lights out so far. We're on lap number 8 as he surges his way through into turn 2. On that particular occasion, he was 4 tenths quicker than Renhofer. Kai Rielitz has been running on a 50.2. Yellow in sector 2 there. I'm wondering if there was an incident for one of our drivers, because it looks like Kai Rielitz has dropped a bit further behind Renhofer, which is the case. The gap is about 3 seconds, and then between Rielitz and Van Overloop, it's now 2.8. So the gaps, they are changing. But Jaden Thien, again, showing that even with the issues that he had both at South Garda and then in the first part at Zuera, he knows, like every good karter worth their salt, we're onto the penultimate lap here, that you've got to go for it, go for broke, go hell for leather, and see what pans out. And Jaden Thien, at the minute, that is definitely paying dividends for him at the moment, as he goes into the turn 4 left-hand hairpin. For the penultimate time, he has quite a good gap of around 2.3 seconds ahead of Rafael Renhofer. Kai Rielitz in third, and Frederik van Overloop rounding out the 4 strong, all covered by 7.6 seconds after nearly 11.7 kilometres of racing, as Jaden Thien comes out of turn 9 for the penultimate time, into the left kink, into the right-hander at 10, now over the start-finish line. Comes Jaden Thien to go onto the 10th and final lap for Heat 1 here at Adria. Into the turn 1 right-hand sweeper. Now into the turn 2 sweeper, and then putting on the brakes there. You can see how realistic it is, because when they press the brakes, the left foot goes in. Press the throttle, the right foot goes in. And Jaden Thien on the final lap of the race has put in a 13.158 first sector. That is quicker than any sector at any time in the first sector that any driver has done so far this evening. 13.2 in sector 2, not exactly the best effort from Jaden Thien, but he's going to come across the line absolutely full throttle, pedal to the metal, and not giving an inch and not take. Well, he's been given an inch and he's taken a county mile out of the final corner. Jaden Thien wins the first qualifying heat here at Adria by a commanding margin, and puts in the fastest lap of the race of 50.173 on the final lap. Wins it by 2.6 seconds ahead of Rafael Renhofer. Kai Hillet's in third place with Frederik van Overloop rounding out the top of the 4 strong. That's it for Heat 1. We'll be right back for Heat number 2. Well, that was rather exciting. Jaden Thien takes the fastest lap on the final lap of that first of 3 qualifying heats. We're about to get underway with qualifying heat number 2. And so once again, we'll have a rolling start. Again, it will be Thien from Renhofer. Then we'll have Rilets and Van Overloop. That is your starting grid for qualifying heat number 2. Another 10 laps in this race, and it should be an absolute belter. And also on behalf of the virtual Road to Formula Karting Trophy, we wish Romain Grosjean from Haas F1 all the very best in his recovery after the dramatic circumstances that took place at the Bahrain Grand Prix this past weekend. But good to see that the technology in Formula 1 and also the swift actions of the marshalling crew and the rescue team, including the likes of Dr. Alan Roberts and Alan van der Merwe, who are part of the medical car team for Formula 1. Really good to see him. Also, he's known in karting circles, so yeah, Romain, all the very best in your recovery, my friend, and good to see that you're back with the rest of the family. So, Thien will start on pole once again. Renhofer in second, Rilets in third, Van Overloop in fourth. So this is where it gets really, really interesting how this will change the dynamic of possibly what could be the order for our 2 finals later on this evening. We will have a 5-minute break between the third and final qualifying heat. So at the moment, the intermediate classification shows that Jaden Thien is leading the way. Out of the final corner we come. They split, go into the tram lines. They hit the accelerators hard to the floor. It is lights out. They are off and racing. Great start once again from Jaden Thien to keep a hold of the lead going into turn 1 for the first time. Oh, a little bit of a touch between Renhofer and Rilets. And Renhofer spins all the way down to the back of the order. And Rilets got a good run behind Jaden Thien. to go into the inside line into turn 1. And Renhofer, you can now see him in the distance coming through turn number 3. So Renhofer still very quick around this circuit here at Adria, but that has really scuppered his chances of keeping his position as best he can when it comes to the running order, or the starting order for Final 1. The results from Final 1 will be our starting order for Final 2, and it is 25 points for a win, 20 for second, 16 for third, 13 for fourth, and 11 for fifth, as there is Jaden Thien has a comfortable nearly 7/10 of a second advantage ahead of Kai Rielitz, with Frederik van Overloop not too far behind Rielitz in the number 1. He's running in the red colours. You can see the bright blue on Jaden Thien, and then on Frederik van Overloop it's the banana yellow, or the Lamborghini yellow, whichever Frederik will probably prefer me calling it. And then we've got the lovely Ford Racing blue of Raphael Renhofer showing there. So definitely some car colour associations there from my side of things. Obviously the Rosso Corsa with from Ferrari with Kai Rielitz. So that's a little bit of useless information this evening. But the information that we do need to keep our eyes on at the moment is Jaden Thien setting the fastest lap of anybody. Fastest in sectors 1 and 2. Made an improvement in sector 3 and still put in a 50.26. So Kai Rielitz still about 7.5 tenths of a second adrift. He's about just over 2 tenths off in terms of pure lap pace. But the track, as we have seen, like over the course of an evening, when Kai Rielitz last week didn't have that much training, he made it to the simulator at Road to Formula with about an hour to spare before we went live, and still managed to get 2 second place finishes behind Jaden Thien. So sometimes it's not over until the checkered flag falls, and we know that in karting all too well. So, bit of rally crossing a la Matthias Ekström from Frederik van Overloop there, going through the 10th and final corner. On now lap number 4, Jaden Thien still has the lead. It's around about fluctuating anywhere between 8 tenths of a second to a second at certain points on the circuit, depending on how how brave Rielitz is in the braking zones. Van Overloop taking a bit more curb, going through the kink between turns 3 and 4 here at the circuit, and that's definitely 4 wheels off track there. That was going through turn 5 and into 6. But Renhofer is starting to really wind up the wick on that number 3. He's just put the fastest sector 2 time of anybody, a 13.210. And here we are with Raphael Renhofer. Is as you can see, the gap between him and also Van Overloop. Now let's see, does Renhofer set a personal best, and does he actually put in the fastest lap of the race? 50.156. Not bad at all. That's a lot. That's nearly a tenth up on Jaden Thien, who is still leading from Kai Rielitz at the moment. We're about to... we're a few corners away, probably about 4 corners from getting onto the halfway stage of the race. So we are on the halfway lap of the race itself. So when it hits 6 out of 10 laps, we'll have 5 still to go. So there's Renhofer still making his way through turn 6 and through 7, and then into the left at 8. And the right-hand hairpin at 9, as Jaden Thien crosses the line, puts in a 50.124. That's the fastest lap of anybody. Once again, Jaden Thien just comfortably commanding proceedings at the front of the field. But Rielitz, I've just noticed, has got to within 7 1/1000ths of Thien on that last lap. A 50.124 from Thien, a 50.130 from Rielitz. So it's still all to play for. I mean, Rielitz still has 4.5 lap, well, 4 and a bit laps still to go until the checkered flag falls. And this will help him in the intermediate classification, because it will actually put him level on points with Raphael Renhofer. And that will make things even more interesting on who will go for it. As now we are on lap number 7 out of 10. The gap between the first 2, just over a second. Heading into turn 2, and then into the right at 3. Into the left at 3 is Renhofer, Now puts in a 50.033. He's absolutely pushing, is the young Austrian. Currently running in Junior Rotax at the moment. I had the pleasure of commentating on him in the Rotax Max Challenge Germany series and also the Euro Trophy as well. I think maybe even I think he's also competed in the B&L karting series. I'm sure that he'll correct me if I'm wrong. But I have seen him compete quite a few times this season in the Junior Rotax category. So a lot of people, if you're watching at home, thank you for joining us here on the official Road to Formula YouTube and Twitch channels. So Thien still leads, but the gap between him and Gielets has now extended to the tune of about 1.2 seconds. A little bit of curb hopping there from Gielets, trying to close that gap. And the problem is that with that particular area, sometimes if there are sausage curbs, that will literally put the kart skywards, and that won't help. But at the end of the day, Gielets still has a lot of time to find in the next 2 and a bit laps, because we're about to go onto the penultimate lap of this race. And this is where it's going to get rather interesting, because Jaden Thien at the moment, he scored 0 points for taking the win in Heat 1. And he's now going on to the penultimate lap of the race, closely followed by Kaya Gielets. So Gielets is not out of this yet. On to lap number 9 we go. There's Van Overloop. He's 5.1 seconds adrift of Jaden Thien. And Rafael Renhofer has been eating into that gap just in front. He was about 5.7 seconds behind Van Overloop, but now he's just under 4 seconds. And that is changing all the time. Jaden Thien just did a 13.290 in the first sector, 13.204 for Gielets, and Thien's lost an absolute handful of time in the second sector. He's put in a 13.3. Gielets has bettered him by over a tenth and a half in sector number 2 as they come through the turn 9 right-hand hairpin for the penultimate time. Through the left-hand kink, around turn 10. One more lap to go, and Jaden Thien still commanding proceedings. Pole position in qualifying. He's won qualifying heat number 1 here at Adria. Gielets will do his level best to keep on terms with him. I think it is close but no cigar for Gielets in this particular occasion. The gap now just over 7.5, make that 0.8 of a second. They go through the turn 4 hairpin into the right at 5, 90 right. And then after this, so through turn 6, they'll have 7, 8, 9 and 10 still to go. Into 7. Short blast into the left-hander at 8. Before the right-hand hairpin at 9. So literally it flows onto itself, one change of direction to the other. And once again, for the second race this evening here at Adria, Jaden Thien crosses the line to take the victory. Kai Gielets this time will take second, as Frederik van Overloop, oh crikey, stone the crows there, takes third ahead of Renhofer. So that does really change things here. So Thien still on 0. Gielets now has what is effectively 5 points. Van Overloop has 7. And then Renhofer has 6. So looking very, very close indeed. We'll be right back ahead of our third and final qualifying heat here on the virtual Road to Formula Karting Trophy, brought to you in association with Kart Sim Limited, IMB Racewear, and the GPVWC. Back in a moment, folks. Right, so we're back for our third and final qualifying heat of the evening here at Adria Karting Raceway for the virtual Road to Formula Karting Trophy, brought to you in association with Kart Sim Limited, IMB Raceway and the GPVWC. Once again, the lineup is as follows on the starting grid. Jaden Thien will be followed by Rafael Renhofer with Kai Gielets and Frederik van Overloop in fourth place. Now, obviously, those wondering about what happened in the first corner incident, well, it was declared a racing incident, which was very much the case how I saw it. So good call by our race stewards. So we'll have one more formation lap, another 10 laps, another 13 kilometers of racing. And it will be down to who nails the start perfectly. It's been absolutely a comfortable race evening so far for Jaden Thien. So the intermediate classification at the moment, Jaden Thien is actually leading it on 0 points. Then it's Kai Gielets. Then it's Rafael Renhofer. And then Frederik van Overloop. Obviously, we will wait to see if Ed Boudron joins us for the two finals this evening. We'll have a little bit of a breather between this race and the next one, and then it will be flat out right up until the final checkered flag. And as I said earlier on, our fifth round at Christianstad will not be broadcasted, so you will have to wait 2 weeks until the final round on the 17th of December 2020, where we will crown our inaugural virtual Road to Formula Karting Trophy champion. So the drivers now steeling themselves, getting themselves ready to go racing. Thien from Renhofer, and then Gielets from Van Overloop. This is where it's going to get rather interesting. Is anyone going to steal Jaden Thien's thunder this evening in the qualifying heat stages? They go out of the final corner into the tram lines, put the accelerators down to the floor. They are off and racing, and it's the run down to turn one that's going to decide things. Renhofer trying to keep it pinned towards the outside, but Gielets is up his inside once again for the second race in succession into turn two. Gielets slingshots up the inside of Renhofer, as Van Overloop has a little bit of a touch with Renhofer as they go through turns 2 and into 3. As now, Gielets is really pushing like crazy, but Renhofer looking to go up the inside. Oh, Gielets went bandsaing up the inside of Jaden Thien. Got a little touch, I think, from Renhofer there, but then Van Overloop has absolutely stoned the Crows, and he's gone up into second. Renhofer up the inside. This is even more highly charged, and now Gielets is trying to make it 3 abreast going into turn 7. Oh, that was close. That was really close indeed, and the quartet are covered by just 2.3 seconds after just one lap of racing. This is absolutely intense, but what it's allowed once again after one lap, Jaden Thien is pulling the old Sebastian Vettel trick out of the magician's hat, because he's just gone faster than anybody, and he's got a lead of over 1.2 seconds on Rafael Renhofer in second position. Frederik van Overloop is in third, just fractionally ahead by about half a second ahead of Kai Gielets in fourth place. So this is the closest heat so far, as a little bit of a run wide there from Gielets going through the turn 4 hairpin on the exit, but he gets himself composed through turns 5 and into 6. Here we are with Rafael Renhofer. You can just see how much closer he is getting towards Jaden Thien, but Thien not giving up. It was an exchange of purple sectors in the first and second between Thien and Renhofer respectively. They both have now crossed the start-finish line. Thien puts in a 50.245, a 50.296 from Renhofer. The gap's still 1.25 seconds. Gielets now ahead of Van Overloop, and will start trying to chase the two in front down. So Van Overloop is about 0.4 of a second. Gielets using as much of the track as he can within the limits thereof. So if he's still got two wheels on the tarmac, he's still pretty good. He's using as much of the curb as he can to try and get the optimum run through the corners. But in the midst of all this, he's also bringing along Van Overloop in the meantime. So Thien has Renhofer trying to chase him down. And we now come across the line to complete lap number 3. And the gap now is just over 1.5 seconds between the pair. And it was a 50.253 from Jaden Thien, a 50.428 from Renhofer on that last lap alone. And Renhofer has gone purple in sector number 1. Really making good his intentions to try and keep ahead of Kai Gielets, who is 3.7 seconds back. and is not having a good race this time around. He finished, Rielitz finished third in the first heat. He finished second in the second heat after contact, well, after a racing incident style incident through turn number 1 on the very, very first lap. So Jaden Thien again crosses the line, will come across to start lap number 5 out of 10. And Renhofer puts in the fastest lap of 50.205 on that particular occasion. Fastest in sector number 1. An improvement on second, third, and fourth place drivers. They all have made a good increase in performance in the final sector. Renhofer's gone quickest by half a tenth in the first sector. He's gone purple. So Renhofer trying to close that gap to Jaden Thien, and at the moment that looks to be working. Thien responding, but then Renhofer goes purple again in sector number 2. 13.153 second first sector for Renhofer, then it's 13.146 for the second sector as they now come round to complete the first half of the race. So one half down, one half to go. Jaden Thien puts in a 50.035, but Renhofer the first one to go in any race this evening. A 49.934. That was 15 thousandths quicker than Jaden Thien in free practice earlier on this evening. But it looks like Renhofer still slightly quicker than Thien through the sectors, but at a bit of a shocker for Kai Rielitz in sector number 1. He's just put in a 13.479. That puts him as the slowest of all 4 drivers. Yellow in sector 2. Well, looks like Jaden Thien had a bit of a moment there, and that has lost him quite a considerable amount of time. That is in sector 3. And he lost out big time. So Renhofer has a gap of just under 0.8 of a second as they go onto lap number 7. And yeah, Jaden Thien lost a hell of a lot of time. That was over 0.3. That was 3.5 tenths that Thien lost in the final sector. And that is what Renhofer has been able to claw back. But Thien has gone faster in sector 1. Renhofer not too far adrift, probably by just under 34 thousandths of a second in that first sector. Gap between the first and second place drivers still around 8 to 9 tenths of a second, as they've now exited turn number 7 and they go into the left at 8, into the right at turn 9. And Thien, it looks like Renhofer is trying to get as close as he can to Jaden Thien, who will cross the line to start lap number 8. Gap between first and second, they were within a tenth of each other. We'll make that 85 thousandths, so Thien was slightly quicker than Renhofer on that particular occasion. So after this, we will have 2 more laps remaining. And the drivers really putting everything into it. A little bit of a lock-up on the brakes. A little bit of over-rotation possibly from Jaden Thien through the turn 4 left-hand hairpin. But he is trying to make it a clean sweep this evening. A little bit more tyre squeal and a bit more tyre smoke going through turn 6. Now through into 7, into 8. Into the right at 9. After this, we will have 2 more laps to go. And Jaden Thien still keeping himself ahead of Rafael Renhofer. The gap between them, as you can see, it fluctuates. It goes anywhere up to 8.5 tenths of a second. It's now down to around 7.3 tenths. But now Kai Rielitz has gotten away from Frederik van Overloop, who is about 2.3 seconds behind the third place driver. But Jaden Thien still trying to do his utmost to keep ahead of Rafael Renhofer, and he has done so pretty much the whole race. It has not been easy, because once you're the one being chased, the one doing the chasing has got less pressure. They've got nothing. They've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. We're fast approaching the final lap of the qualifying heat stages here at Adria for the Road to Formula Virtual Karting Trophy, brought to you in association with Kart Sim Limited, IMB Racewear, and the GPVWC. So we're on to the final lap, lap number 10. So the final part of the 36 kilometers of racing that we've had already this evening, with another 24 to follow. That will put us to a total of 60 kilometers raced over the course of this evening. And Renhofer looks even more closer than anyone has been all evening so far. So he was about just under 3/10 off, and he's getting even closer still, but he's fast running out of time. If he was this close probably another couple of laps previously, I think he would have had more of a chance to get past Jaden Thien as we go through into the hairpin. Van Hoffer's going to try and do what he can to come out of the final corner and get the run on Jaden Thien. But out of the final turn, once again, Jaden Thien makes it 3 for 3 in the qualifying heats by 0.3 of a second ahead of Renhofer. Here comes Kai Rielitz, who ran out the top 3 with Frederik van Overloop completing the 4-strong grid. With all 4 drivers making it to the finish line. They've all completed 36 kilometers, very important kilometers this evening. And that is it for the qualifying heat stages. So that means that I think I'm just going to do some calculation here before we go to a quick 5-minute break before we get things underway with all of this. So just going to keep, so Jaden Thien has got 0 points. Renhofer has got 8, he's got 8 points. Rielitz has got 8 points as well. So that basically puts them on level pegging. I think that's going to have to go to countback. So if it is countback, it will be Renhofer that will end up second on the grid with Rielitz and then Van Overloop rounding out the 4 strong. So we'll be back in around 5 minutes' time with the 2 finals to conclude the 4th round out of 6 for the virtual Road to Formula Karting Trophy. Back in just about 5 minutes' time. See you very soon. Right. It's now time to go for broke here at Adria for the Virtual Road to Formula Karting Trophy at Adria Karting Raceway. Now, the intermediate classification decided the following positions. Jaden Thien did a clean sweep of all 3 heats and starts on pole position. Now, based on the fact that if it comes to a tie, that the qualifying results will decide who ends up second. In this case, Rafael Renhofer was quicker than Kai Gilitz in qualifying, and it puts him on the front row alongside Jaden Thien. Kai Gilitz will start from 3rd, and Frederik van Overloop will complete the 4-strong grid. 10 laps for this race, and also for the next one. So we will have a rolling start. Once again. So 10 laps to see whether Jaden Thien will make it 4 from 4 and really put himself into the hunt for the title this evening. So just over 1,300 meters, which is about just over 0.8 of a mile. So one of the biggest things is that is someone going to... We've seen it before where one driver has had the best run of luck and then it has all come tumbling down in an instant. That is what we have seen for the likes of Kai Gilitz. We've also seen it for Rafael Renhofer. We've also seen it for Jaden Thien. This is where the real sort of business end work begins. We're into the second half of the season. We have 2 more rounds after this still to go. The best 4 results will count towards the relevant drivers' campaign. And this is where the drivers now really know that they've got to go for it. They've got to give it their all and leave no stone unturned. Out of the final corner we come. They go into the tram lines once again. They punch the accelerators to the floor. It is lights out. They are off and racing, and a great start from Kai Gilitz, who slingshots behind Jaden Thien past Renhofer as all Thien runs wide going into the approach into turn 2. There's a little bump from behind. That was a nice save there from Kai Gilitz, who gets bumped from behind by Van Overloop going into turn 2. And then Renhofer tried to get past Gilitz on that particular occasion, but Gilitz goes up the inside of Van Overloop through turn 4. Now into the right at turn 5 as Renhofer and Van Overloop comes to blows. Oh, Van Overloop off the track once again. So that is, I'm wondering whether that might be possibly investigated by the stewards. But sometimes it can be a bit of no harm, no foul in some respects. But the top 3. It's been not as easy a getaway for Jaden Thien this time, but he has managed to get a gap of about a second from him between himself and Kai Gilitz with a 51.721 second lap time for Jaden Thien. Gilitz on a 52.5, Renhofer a 53.1. And Van Overloop, I don't know where he is at on the track at the moment. I think he might have... He's actually a lap down off of the leaders, and... well, he has been lapped. He has effectively been lapped by the leaders, so he's still on what will be. So whether he's had a disconnect issue or a technical issue, not too sure. But that has just really caused problems for him. But this will still keep him in the battle for what is 4th position in terms of the standings. No Ed Bouton, so Van Overloop will really have a good opportunity. He'll pick up 13 points apiece for each final. As we're on to lap number 3. Yep, so it might have been just been informed by one of the crew at Road to Formula that might have been a network problem for Van Overloop, which has literally caused him to have a lag spike and possibly punted him out of the server. So that really puts paid to his chances in any way, shape or form. To going towards the top 3 in the standings, but the top 3 themselves here at the moment, and at the moment leading it is the driver currently in 3rd place. That is Jaden Thien, He's on 107 points, 10 behind Rafael Renhofer, who rounds out the top 3. And then Gielitz, who leads the standings by 6 points ahead of Renhofer, is currently in 2nd position. Now, this all depends on whether Jaden Thien gets pounced upon by Kai Gielitz in the dying stages of the race to break his winning streak. But at the moment, the way things are going, Jaden Thien having a good run at the front of the field, enjoying being at the front of the field. I mean, any race driver worth their salt will want to go out there and win and do their best. And Jaden Thien at the moment is doing that in spades. He's got a 2nd gap over Kai Gielitz. So Renhofer not too far behind, and Renhofer's actually the quickest out of anybody, a 50.280 lap time from the young Austrian. Currently in 3rd place, and he's about 6/10 off of Gielitz as we now go across the line to start lap number 5 here at Adria. A little bit of dust kicked up. I think that might have been from Renhofer there, as Jaden Thien gets to within 0.09 of a second off of the magical 50-second barrier. And Renhofer getting closer and closer to Gielitz, and was actually he was quicker by nearly. Well, he was quicker by pretty much half a second. So Gielitz coming under pressure. This could really change things in terms of the gap between 1st and 2nd in the championship. So Renhofer looking at every way possible to get past, as a little bit of a run wide out of turn 7 for Gielitz heading into the left at 8. It's line astern between these two, and Thien is still trying to get away into the distance. He's got a 2.1 second gap at the moment as we go on to lap number 6. 5 laps to go. And Gielitz and Renhofer, well, Renhofer was about a 10.5 quicker than Gielitz on that last lap alone. Made up a majority of the time actually through the 3rd and final sector. Jaden Thien runs a 13.184 in Sector 1. Gielitz the personal best. Renhofer up the inside through turn 4. The pair clash. And Gielitz gets back in front before turn 5. Not see how the stewards are going to look at that one, but I'm sure I'll get informed in due course. But at the moment, the way things stands is that if Jaden Thien wins this race, it will put him on 131 points. Gielitz on 143, and then Renhofer, he would have 133. So we would have, oh my goodness me, I thought it was going to be close enough at the minute. 15 points, it would be dropping down to 12 after the end of this first final. And when you consider the fact that Gielitz and Renhofer, they are battling against each other. They are not working together. They're not closing on Jaden Thien, who's got a, oh, now that was definitely front Nassau in the air, and the front axle up in the air for Kai Gielitz as he went through the slight kink between turns 3 and 4, and the front end of the kart went nigh on skyward there. As Renhofer puts in the fastest first sector of anybody in this race so far, a 13.135 from the young Austrian. But Gielitz still holding on at the minute. But Van Overloop has actually started to close in on them. And Van Overloop hasn't been too shabby either in terms of lap times. 50.811 on the completion of lap number 7. As we go on to lap number 8, or lap number 6. So we're on to lap number 8, a 50.7 from Van Overloop. 50.7 dead. Great job by him. Renhofer again, trying to be the fastest in the first sector. But this time, on this particular occasion, it is Jaden Thien that has got ahead at the minute, and he's got a country mile ahead once again. 4.3 seconds, nearly make that 4.5, as very shortly he'll be coming across the line to start the penultimate lap of the very first final. And Van Overloop will be on 68 points after this. No score for Ed Boutron because he's not here this evening, but look how close Renhofer is to Gielitz as we go on to the penultimate lap of the race. And between them, there's about 3/10. Heading into the right-hander at turn 2. And into the left at 3. So Gielitz just basically has to watch what he does here. Because given the opportunity, Rafael Renhofer will try and go back up the inside. He nearly had a look up the inside of turn 4 once again. They now go into the right-hander at 5. So still Jaden Thien extending that gap, and it's nearly 4.5 seconds, as he will very shortly, in about a couple of corners or so, go on to the final lap of the races. Up the inside through turn 9 goes Rafael Renhofer. A bit of wheel banging between the pair. Oh, and Rielitz gets turned around. And Van Overloop goes up the inside, and that has changed everything once again. Because Rielitz now, that will put him on 139 points. And if Renhofer gets, depending on what happens, that now changes the dynamics of this championship quite considerably, because I'm looking at the points now. If it is 4th place that Rielitz has at the end of this, that will net him 13 points, putting him on 136. If Renhofer has 2nd, now obviously there may be a discussion post-race between the race stewards, but if that is the case, then that would put Renhofer 1 point in front of the standings, and Jaden Thien would be 6 points behind on 131. So the leader now comes out of the final corner. Now this is a weave from side to side. He's taken the checkered flag. He's so engrossed in the points. And then there is Renhofer, 137 points. So provisionally takes the championship lead. And that is so much of what could have been. Woulda, coulda, shoulda from Kai Rielitz after that clash between him and Rafael Renhofer. So that's it for the first final. We'll be back in just a couple of moments with the second final here at Adria for the virtual Road to Formula Karting Trophy, brought to you in association with Kart Sim Limited, IMB Raceware, and the GPVWC. Well, we have one more final still to go. And the incident between Kai Rielets and Rafael Renhofer has been declared a racing incident. So this is how the championship standings look heading into the second final this evening at Adria. Rafael Renhofer has now retaken the lead by a single solitary point by taking second. He's on 137. Kai Rielets is on 136, but keep your eyes peeled on what Jaden Thien does. He's got 4 race victories in a row. Can he make it 5 this evening? He's on 131 points. So we have one more 10-lap race, the second final here this evening at Adria, before we have a little bit of a broadcast hiatus for 2 weeks. And here is your grid. Jaden Thien will start on pole. Then it will be Rafael. Yeah, so it will be Jaden Thien on pole, Renhofer on second, it will be Van Overloop third, and Rielets will be fourth. That's how they finished in final number 1. We have just another 13 kilometers. Yep, so we are going to do a brief restart just to make sure that those positions are correct before we do release them for the formation lap of the 1,302 meter circuit. And what this gives us the opportunity of having is the perfect race evening. And it has been the Jaden Thien show tonight. Pole position in qualifying, and he's won all 4 races tonight. And if he does that, that's going to be the only driver this on this campaign that has done the clean sweep. And then when it goes to Kristianstad next week, the title fight is going to intensify even more. Obviously, with no Kai Rielets with Kai not being there next week because of the international trophy. But here is your starting order: Jaden Thien in the number 8 will be on pole position. The number 3 of Rafael Renhofer will be alongside him on the front row. Then it's the number 5 of Frederik van Overloop, and then the number 1 of Kai Rielets. That is your 4-kart grid for the starting order for the second final of the 4th round of the virtual Road to Formula Karting Trophy, taking place here at the virtual recreation of Adria Karting Raceway. And now we are underway with our formation lap. The drivers will start weaving from side to side to get some heat into the tyres and into the brakes as well. And this will be rather interesting. Is Jaden Thien going to be unbeatable this evening? That is the big question. Is someone going to who's going to put the fly in his ointment? Who's going to spoil his birthday party, so to speak? Well, we're going to find out over 10 laps of racing, and whether he does get bettered, or whether he decides to rise like the cream to the cream of the crop that do rise to the top of the field. Kai Rielets has got a bit of work to do. He needs to get back on level pegging terms. He needs to beat Rafael Renhofer this time around to retake the standings lead. But obviously, we won't see what will happen at Kristianstad next week because of no broadcast. However, they come out of the final corner. Let's see, 10 laps to go here at Adria for round 4 of the season. They go into the tram lines, they push the accelerators hard to the floor, and it looks like we've got a great start there. Good start from Rielets. He got past Van Overloop pretty easily. Jaden Thien has been literally slingshotted past by Renhofer, who started third, now P1. They go into turn 3 for the first time, and Rielets up the inside. Oh, nearly has the front end of that kart going skyward again. He's trying to go around the outside of turn 4 on the hairpin. This is where it's going to get a bit more argy-bargy. There's a bit of contact between Thien and Renhofer. As now Rielets up the inside as all. Thien goes into the back of Rielets, who then pushes Renhofer wide. And it's all for themselves. And Jaden Thien, once again, has managed to get away with it. He's managed to get away from everybody and gets back into the lead. I think that multiple
multiple set of incidents might be under investigation, but you can just see how close Rielitz is to Renhofer. That's the battle for second and third as they cross the lines to complete lap number 1. Jaden Thien is a gap of over 8.5, maybe 9/10 of a second over Renhofer as Rielitz gets deep into the braking zone on turn 2. And then up the inside, he goes up the inside, the pair clash wheels. Oh, over the sausage curbs runs Renhofer, but there was a bit of clash between him and Rielitz. And now here comes Frederik van Overloop, and he was trying to go past Renhofer, but the pair had a little bit of a clash there. And, van Overloop tags the back of Renhofer, but then that hinders van Overloop as opposed to Renhofer on that particular occasion, as the back end of the number 5 stepped out. That's a complete lap number 2 out of 10 in the second final. And if I'm completely honest here, it is anyone's guess what is going to happen behind Jaden Thien, because if he comes across the line, he will get 150. That will be 156 points. Rielitz will also be on 156 points. And then Rafael Renhofer will be on 153, so it will be a tie for the lead in the standings. But that depends. How badly does Rafael Renhofer want to have the one-up on Kai Rielitz leaving this evening, knowing that Rielitz is not going to be with us next week in the 5th round of the season? You can see it's very close between Rielitz and Renhofer, as Thien is about 1.3, well, nearly 1.7 seconds up the road, as he's now on to lap number 3 out of 10. 50.212 second lap time from Rielitz. Renhofer just over 0.2 of a second slower. Rielitz is actually the slowest out of the top 3. He was less than a quarter of a second slower than Renhofer, who's really closing. So Renhofer's got that cart hooked up the inside through into turn 4. Rielitz runs wide. Renhofer, Rielitz did not need to do that. And he's gone wide coming out of turn 4. He went wide going out of turn 5. This is currently, that is under investigation as we speak. So race control looking at the incident there, as Rielitz absolutely got a real advantage running wide out of turn 4. So Renhofer will now try and put the boot on the other foot, so to speak, but he's going to try and do it cleanly. So Rielitz, on that particular occasion, tried to go a bit gung-ho, and it paid off for him in some respects. But I'm sure that Rafael Renhofer will be definitely wanting to get past as soon as possible. Up the inside he goes, and he now clashes with Rielitz. So it's one good turn deserves another, as they say, as Rielitz and Renhofer both get sideways. This battle not over yet, but that incident involving Rielitz going up the inside through turn 5 into the left, into the right-hander, is under investigation, including that track cut. That was a massive track cut that he had. But now, whilst these two are battling, Jaden Thien is about to complete the halfway point. He's got to the halfway point of the race. So 5 laps down, 5 laps to go. And Van Overloop has been closing on the 2 in front, who have been squabbling like a pair of petulant children, battling over the last free seat of this, well, free swing in the playground, or the last seat on one side of the seesaw. They really have definitely kept this championship very, very entertaining, despite it becoming at the getting the let's just say the wrong side of the decision if it doesn't quite work in their favour. But we're about to complete lap number 6. Jaden Thien setting fast laps. He's consistently running in the 50.2s. He's done a 50.211 this race. His last lap was a 50.237. He'll cross the line now, and that will put him on to lap number 7. Frederik van Overloop has got his fastest lap in the bag now, a 50.853 for the number 5. And so when you look at it, Renhofer, Rielitz and Van Overloop covered by around about a second. And that is from second to 4th position. So I'm now going to have to do some recalculation, because so this is where it gets rather interesting from my perspective. So I'm gonna keep my eyes on all of this whilst it's all happening, because Jaden Thien at the moment, he'll be on 156 points. Renhofer will be on 157. And then Rielers will drop to third place if it stays like it is. So Rielers has to get a motor on. He's only got 3 more laps to do this, and if he doesn't do it, that really is he's going to be the one on the back foot. Obviously, first of all, not competing next week because of obviously his international trophy commitments, but also it puts him out of the title the permutations for the title at the season finale at Karting Genk in just 2 weeks' time. But it has been this young driver has been a mountain that no one has been able to climb and get to the top of in order to best the efforts of one Jaden Thien from Soesternen in the Netherlands. He comes round the final corner. We're going to go onto the penultimate lap, so 2.6 kilometres, 1.3 per lap remain. He goes into the right-hander at turn 2 very, very shortly. And in that respect, it is going to be very, very easy for him to just keep looking ahead. He doesn't need to worry about the drivers behind. Jaden Thien has done an absolute masterclass this evening here at the virtual Road to Formula Karting Trophy, brought to you in association with Kart Sim Limited, IMB Racewear, and the GP VWC. So Thien now making his way towards the left-hander at turn 8 for the penultimate time, as some of the other drivers, which includes Kai Rielers and Frederik van Overloop, they are all still circulating, the entire field covered by about 5.5 seconds, as we now head to the last lap of the race. Just under 1,302 metres still to go for Jaden Thien, as Rafael Renhofer puts in the fastest lap of the race on the penultimate lap, a 50.037 from the young Austrian. As Thien now makes his way into the left-hand hairpin at turn 4 for the final time. It has been absolutely brilliant stuff watching Jaden Thien just put the cat amongst the pigeons, and he's not put a foot wrong all evening long. He came under pressure from both Renhofer and Rielers at certain points in the qualifying heat stages. But now, just 2 more corners remain. 1 more apex to circumnavigate. And it has been the perfect evening for Jaden Thien here in Adria. He wins the second final and secures, and he goes across the line backwards while celebrating. Oh, that's brilliant. And Frederik van Overloop has to avoid. Oh, my goodness. That's the best way to celebrate a 5th successive final in a row. So Jaden Thien really puts himself into contention now. Rafael Renhofer in second, and now here come the donuts from Jaden Thien, and it looks like everyone's having a bit of a try at that, including Kai Rielers. And Frederik van Overloop rounds out the 4 drivers here. So as far as I'm aware, Rafael Renhofer now leads. He's retaken the lead after this. Well, he's still in the lead, but it is 1 point ahead of Jaden Thien. That's how close it is. 157 to 156. Rielers, as a result of him being on 136 after final number 1, he drops down to 3rd over the course of the 2 finals. And Frederik van Overloop on 81 points. So that keeps him 4th in the standings. What an evening it's been. Hopefully, we might be able to get maybe a word with a driver or 2 this evening. So we'll be right back in just a couple of moments' time here on the official Road to Formula YouTube and Twitch channels. Right, okay. That was definitely a dramatic finish to that race there. Jaden Thien nearly lost it, but we've got our new championship leader back in, Rafael Renhofer. Rafael, going into the race next week at Christianstad, you now lead Jaden by 1 point, but it was a very, very difficult evening, wasn't it? Especially in the qualifying heats.
Yeah, it was. I had a lot of fights with Kai, and Jaden really had amazing pace, so I couldn't really do anything against him. So I'm happy with P2 in the end.
Yeah, I think because we saw I think we definitely saw our fair share of incidents between yourself and Kai, and that's very, very reminiscent of obviously when you guys raced in junior Rotax, when I've had the pleasure of commentating on you guys in real life, now in sim racing as well. It's a very, very different mindset to have in some respects with regards to sim racing, isn't it?
For sure it is, yeah. And some maneuvers you can do in sim racing which you just can't do in real life. So you have to get used to that for sure.
Yeah, well, congratulations on re-securing the championship lead, even though it's just a point between you and Jaden. But are you looking forward to Christianstad next week? Obviously, no broadcast because obviously a couple of us, myself included, are heading over to Portimao for the international trophy. Are you looking forward to going one-on-one against Jaden and seeing if things can go back to your favour, ready for the final round at Genk?
Yeah, let's see. I'll see how much practice I can put in. I just signed up for iRacing endurance race as well. So yeah.
So plenty of sim racing in the meantime to get yourself ready for next year. Oh, well, good stuff, Rafael. Congratulations for tonight, and thank you once again for some fantastic racing.
Thank you. See you.
Cheers. Well, that really, I think, rounds up things here at the Virtual Road to Formula Karting Trophy, brought to you in association with Kart Sim Limited, IMB Raceware, and the GPVWC. What a way to round off a Thursday evening with Jaden Thien doing the clean sweep and puts himself well and truly in the title hunt. Just a point behind Rafael Renhofer with Kai Hilitz rounding out the top three. Join us in 2 weeks' time as we will crown our champion at no better place than the home of champions, Karting Genk in Belgium on the 17th of December. Until then, this is Alex Goldschmidt, your official Virtual Road to Formula Karting Trophy commentator, signing off for now. See you in a fortnight's time and have a lovely weekend, whatever you're doing.